Turning the pages of history, a terrible pattern is visible. In the last 500 years, this same pattern has destroyed 3 superpowers. And today, standing in 2026, it seems that America is also walking the same path. In 1590, Spain was the richest empire in the world, with more than half the world's gold and silver under their control. But within just 80 years, the empire went bankrupt. In 1914, the British Empire was the largest empire in history. It was said the sun never set on their empire. But in just 40 years, this power was almost gone. In 1991, the Soviet Union was a superpower with nuclear weapons, space technology, and everything else. But in just 900 days, everything was destroyed. The fall of an empire never begins with war. It begins very quietly with economic advantage. When a superpower spreads bases around the world beyond its own capacity, war commits, then the seeds of its downfall begin to sow. Everything seems fine from the outside. But inside, waste of resources, production declines. Slowly, everything starts to fall apart. After 1492, Spain emerged as the first global superpower, conquered the Aztec and Inca empires. They became the owners of the world's largest gold and silver resources. By 1550, tons upon tons of silver were coming into Spain every year. By 1600, Spain controlled Europe's money supply. King Philip II thought their wealth was endless, causing Spain to engage in many wars at once. Europe, the sea, the colonies, their armies spread across 4 continents. Half of Spain's income was spent on maintaining the army. This huge military expenditure became unbearable for their economy. To cover the costs of the war, Spain began to devalue its currency. Silver coins were mixed with cheaper metals. As a result, the real value decreased. The merchants realized this deception. They refused to accept the currency. Prices continued to rise, and the lives of the common people became miserable. Spain began borrowing to finance its expenses. 1557, 1560, 1575, 1596, a superpower went bankrupt 4 times in just 40 years. Abundant wealth made Spain lazy. They stopped producing and started buying everything. As a result, their economy collapsed from within. As the economy collapsed, society collapsed, unemployment, poverty, people started leaving the country. Around 1700, Spain still looked big on the map, but in reality, it was a hollow shell, a superpower. The silence was over. The year was 1900. The British Empire was at its peak. It was said that the sun never set on their empire. London was the financial center of the world, and the pound was the global reserve currency. Britain spread their empire: India, Africa, Asia. Their armies were stationed on 6 continents. They thought this power would never end. In 1914, the First World War began. Britain could have remained neutral if it wanted to, but they got involved in the war. The war cost them $40 billion. While waging war, Britain began to borrow from America, the country that had once been a lender. That country now became a borrower. In 1931, Britain was forced to abandon the gold standard overnight. The value of the pound fell by 25%, which was a major signal of collapse. Before the debt of the First War was over, World War II began, costing another $120 billion. More debt. By 1945, Britain was in debt greater than its GDP, had won the war but lost the economy. In 1947, Britain lost its largest colony, and then one by one, all the colonies started to be lost. Once upon a time, 1 pound was worth over $4. Today, it has fallen to $1.27. The global reserve currency has become a common currency. By 1970, The British Empire was confined to the history books. The once all-powerful empire silently disappeared. After World War II, the Soviet Union emerged as a rival to America, possessing thousands of nuclear weapons, space technology, and global influence. They believed communism was the future and capitalism would one day be destroyed. They spent 15 to 20% of their GDP on the military, exerting global influence, putting unbearable pressure on the economy. After 1970, their economy stagnated, central planning failed, and they even had to import food for their own people. When there is no personal incentive, no one wants to produce. As a result, the vast economy slowly stagnates. The ruble was never internationally accepted. To buy goods from abroad, they had to sell gold and oil. In 1985, oil prices plummeted, and then the Soviet economy began to collapse. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. This was the beginning of the end. In just 900 days, a superpower became non-existent. No war, no invasion, just internal economic collapse. Despite having thousands of nuclear weapons, this power collapsed like a house of cards. Now coming to the words, which will give you goosebumps. Today's Americas is following the exact same pattern, stage by stage. Today America has more than 750 military bases in more than 80 countries, and their military budget is greater than the combined budgets of the next 10 countries. In 1971, the dollar was delinked from gold, and since then trillions of dollars have been printed. In the last 50 years, the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power. Today, America's debt is over $36 trillion. $1 trillion is spent every year on interest alone. New debt is being taken out to pay off old debt. America no longer manufactures. Manufacturing has gone to China, Mexico, Vietnam. Today, they are completely dependent on imports. Crime, homelessness, drugs, people's trust in government is at an all-time low. The world is now looking for alternatives to the dollar. Central banks are buying gold. The use of the dollar in energy trade is declining. When the reserve currency fails, when credit stops flowing, when the military cannot be paid, the collapse is no longer gradual. It is sudden, irresistible. Every empire thought they were the exception, but history forgives no one this pattern, mathematical being, and ruthless. Stages 1 to 5 already completed. Now only the last 2 steps remain. The only question is, when? Maybe 2 years? Maybe 1 or less? But the pattern says, fall is imminent.